segment shalosh nikud shtaim nikud alef. Ha'ata hamesir et ha'oneya hazot me'al ha'avanim ha'ele. Ha'ata hamesir et ha'oneya hazot me'al ha'oneya ha'ele. In this segment, you'll expand your ability to identify which particular object you're referring to when there are some other objects around which might confuse the issue. You learn to do this using the demonstrative pronoun ze, meaning this. That was for masculine. Now you'll expand to be able to describe and identify feminine objects as well. Notice the object list. Please select 2 objects in preparation for engaging this activity in class. The one object will be something you find interesting, and the other will be an object which you suspect a friend or neighbor in class may find interesting. Make note of your choices. Here are the words: Evan, avanim. Evan, avanim. Oniyah, oniyot. Oniyah, oniyot. Eretz, aratzot. Eretz, aratzot. Notice concerning the next entry that there are not just 2, singular and plural, but singular and then dual, referring to a pair, and then finally plural, referring to a larger group. Yad, yadayim, yadot. Yad, yadayim, yadot. Malka, malkot. Malka, malkot. Neviah, neviot. Neviah, neviot. Ir, arim. Ir, arim. Ruach, ruchot. Ruach, ruchot. Notice concerning this object list that all of them are feminine. Since the objects that you'll be using in this activity are feminine, you'll need to choose a feminine demonstrative pronoun to modify them. The words this or that, these or those will need to be suitable for feminine objects. Before we come to those listed under the heading Feminine Demonstrative Pronouns, notice the paragraph just above that heading. As you read it over, you'll encounter a phrase that occurs in the Hebrew Bible, and it uses the Hebrew words ele ha-mitzvot. Ele ha-mitzvot. I think you'll enjoy unpacking that phrase and discovering where it comes from. Here then are the feminine demonstrative pronouns. Zot, ele, zot, ele. These are the words for this and these when modifying feminine nouns, respectively. You may notice that the word ele for plural is the same word that you used for these when modifying a masculine noun. It's the same word used to modify feminine nouns when in plural, when you need the word these to modify them. For that and those, you'll be using the Hebrew words he and hena, he and hena. You'll notice that the word he, meaning that, is the same as the third feminine singular personal pronoun, translated she. And concerning the word hena, meaning those for feminine objects, it's a rather rare word. You will not encounter it very often in the Hebrew Bible. Finally, concerning these feminine demonstrative pronouns, you'll notice that they are provided with the definite article ha in parentheses. This is to let you know that you will often encounter these demonstrative pronouns preceded by the definite article. So it's good to get used to reading them this way, hearing them this way, in case you encounter them in that fashion. Here's what they would sound like. Hazot, ha'ele, hahi, ha'hena. Now let's turn our attention to the model inquiries and replies so that after practicing them, we will engage them more comfortably and easily in class. Here's the first inquiry. Hechafetz ata et haaretz hazot? Hechafetz ata et haaretz hazot? Or if inquiring of a woman, Hechafetza at et haaretz hazot? Hechafetza at et haaretz hazot? If you wish to reply in the affirmative, you would say, Ani chafetz et haaretz hazot. Or if you're a woman, with the affirmative reply, Ani chafetza et haaretz hazot. If instead you wish to reply negatively, Eineni chafetz et haaretz hazot. Or if you're a woman, Eineni chafetza et haaretz hazot. As you may have gathered, you'll be using this inquiry to see if the object which you have pre-selected is one that your neighbor is interested in. Now, if it turns out that they reply negatively, Eineni chafetz, and so on, you may wish to follow up to uncover what it is they actually are interested in. And that's where the next inquiry and reply come in. Ma ata chafetz, or Ma at chafetza. And then the reply supplying the requested information would sound like this. Ani chafetz et ha'ir hazot. Ani chafetz et ha'ir hazot. Or you may find some recalling the value of fronting the requested information, responding in this way, although it's not written out before you in your textbook. Et ha'ir hazot, ani chafetz. Et ha'ir hazot, ani chafetz. Please read over the directions under the heading, Which is more intriguing, and then apply them to what you find in the next table. Here are the various pairs of phrases under the heading, Which is more intriguing? Let's read them over. The example is this. Ha'evan hazeh. You can see that hazeh has been crossed out because it's not correct. Evan is feminine. Hazeh belongs to a masculine noun. Consequently, to the left, in the column labeled Change If Needed, we find the replacement correction, hazot. In the column Item Bait, we find the phrase Ho'oniot ha'ele. Ho'oniot ha'ele. The student has drawn a box around this, indicating that of the two, Evan and Oniot, this is the object which he or she finds more interesting. And then a brief explanation of personal reasoning is found in the column why this choice was preferred as more intriguing. And now for the first set of objects. Haaretz hazot. Haaretz hazot. Ha'ir hazot. Ha'ir hazot. Shtaim. Ha'oniya hahi. Ha'oniya hahi. Haruach hahu. Haruach hahu. Shalosh. Hamayim hazeh. Hamayim hazeh. Ho'oniot ha'hena. Ho'oniot ha'hena. Arba. Ha'avanim ha'ele. Ha'avanim ha'ele. hakesef hazeh, hakesef hazeh. Chamesh, hamelech hahu, hamelech hahu. He'arim hahem, he'arim hahem. As you are working through this exercise, determining which have the correct modifier demonstrative pronouns and which are incorrect, it may be that you'll come across some nouns for which you've forgotten what the gender is. A couple of ways you can look it up. One is to page back through your textbook and discover where the word was introduced. Alternatively, you may wish to turn to the glossary at the back and look up the Hebrew word, and alongside it you'll find the gender indicated, as well as the particular module where that word was first introduced. Please read over these paragraphs that begin with the inline heading these and those. Here you will learn that the way a Hebrew speaker or writer would employ these demonstrative pronouns will be a little bit different than the way you may be accustomed to, particularly if your native language is English.